All right, what is going on tonight, chat? Another day, another episode of Grade Review. CJ, Lil7, welcome in, welcome in. What is going on today, guys? Thank you for liking the live, CJ. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My face is super bright because my new light is crazy. So what's going on, guys? My name is Galaxy Gaming, and we are going to be doing what's called Grade Review. We have a lot to go over today. So we have a grade review session, which is me helping pre-grade cards for the community before they submit them off to PSA. It's a free service that I offer every Wednesday. Plus, I'm bringing back the monthly giveaways. So I'm going to be talking about that and how you guys can enter for your chance to win, and it should be active, a Galaxy Gaming mystery box. So that's going to be pretty cool. So that giveaway is active now, but I'll be talking about that more as the stream goes on, including some more entries for that. And we're going to be doing a cleaning / prep for a show that I have this Sunday, which includes going over some base set packs, as well as going over some Skyridge Aquapolis Expedition that I picked up. So a lot to go over today. So it's going to be pretty fun. So again, welcome, guys. If you guys are new here, my name is Galaxy Gaming, and we're going to get right into it. So first up is my man. Well, first, Apple, welcome, brother. So first up, we have the man, the myth, the legend. Now, Jersey Shore TCG. We're going to be looking at a Victory Cup, which is always pretty cool. Some nice trophy cards. So let's take a look at this bad boy, shall we? And it goes without saying, if you guys see anything that I do not see when we're going to be grade reviewing tonight, please let me know. The tool that we're going to be using is the snipping tool baked into Windows. And we are just going to get right into it. So the front of this bad boy looks to be pretty good. Centering looks good, top, bottom, left, and right. Again, we want to be within 50-50 to 55-45 in terms of centering on the front. And let's take a look at those corners. Looks good. That top right looks good. Maybe a little bit of something, but it might be a camera kind of, since I'm zooming in really, really tight, there might be something in kind of this range right here on the top. But again, it might just be because the camera is so zoomed in for this picture. But we have a lot of pictures to go through. There is something there. I took a pic of it. Perfect. So I'm glad I can see what you see, Jersey. Can't call you Mike anymore. Left side's good. That left corner is good. That bottom edge is good. So again, we're looking at a 2022 or 2012, not 2022. Looks like a Victory Cup promo. Prize card. Assuming you picked this up at a show, which is pretty cool. So that's for so far. That's the only thing that I see on those corners and edges. So let's take a look at some of the other angles here. So we have some hollow that looks pretty good. Let's see if we see any scratches near the Zekrom or the Reshiram. I did have the second place card too. It's very different. Oh, that's cool. I'm sure it's probably just all of them crying because they didn't get first place. So yeah, no print lines, no major scratches that I can see, which is good. So this angle is good. Again, we're really just kind of looking at that top middle part once we get to it. This angle, the only thing that I don't know if it's part of the like texturing of the card is that guy right there, where the tip of my mouse is, and I will just do a quick screenshot to kind of to highlight that as well, which is probably like right about there. Well, you came to the right place, Austin. Yeah, the victory stuff is always pretty cool. Like the trophy cards in general are really nice. But aside from that, it's really just looking at that top part, which you've kind of identified here as well. But judging by, it looks like these angles are actually a little bit easier. I collect victory medals. That's cool. So we have a little bit of a lip here, like right where the tip of my mouse is. So it's a little bit of an indent on that top part that we can see. So we're probably going to get docked maybe a point or two. So let's look at the back before we make kind of like our final decision here. So let's take a screenshot of the back side. Again, for those of you who are new here, I am helping the community pre-grade some of their cards before they submit to PSA. It's an absolutely free service. If you're interested, let me know. I'll be more than happy to go over how to submit. So the centering on the back is definitely good. Back is way more lenient than the front. So we have a little bit of whitening on this corner right here on the top right. Top edge looks okay. Right now I'm just looking at the edges of the card. A little bit of some stuff here on the surface of this back side. So like right around here, what appears to be kind of some soft scuffing. Possible whitening in this section and this section on that left side as we kind of go across. The front scratches so easily. Also, sometimes they have pretty big scan lines. Yeah. That's definitely a good point. We'll have to... Luckily, I didn't see too many on the front based off the angles that Jersey submitted. So we'll definitely have to keep in mind on the back as well. So thank you, Austin. Have some whitening on that bottom left corner. As we kind of go along that bottom edge, looks okay. A little bit of whitening here and here. The front's pretty clean, just the minor back issues. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing so far, Jersey. So far, it's just primarily the back. All right, so now we have the head-on one. Kind of those are my kind of quick notes here. And let's look at more angles. So we have this angle. So you can kind of see some scratching on this right edge, right about there. And then we look at the other side. There's a unique modern card that won't 10, but I want to grade it. Psst, there you go, man. Sometimes it's kind of nice, you know what I mean? When you have a card that you do want to grade, kind of regardless, and if it gets a 10, you know, there's still some of us out there. Yeah, so really the only things that I saw, probably the most markings, is probably going to be this head-on shot that we have here. So that's pretty good. Okay, so we have our assessment of the front, which is primarily just this top part here. The rest of the card looked really good on the front, but it's primarily the back that is kind of having the most concerns. So how I normally like to break this down, I kind of like to work kind of in to out. So meaning kind of saying what I don't think it would get with some certainty. So I don't think it would get anything lower than a 6. So 7 or higher is on the table still. However, I don't think based off of some of these like minor bits of whitening, I'm sorry, I meant 5, not 6, mod play. So 6 or higher. But I don't think that it would get anything for like near mint plus, so 8 or higher. So we're kind of in the range. I'm going to say it the opposite way so I don't have people giving me the meme that's going around. So anywhere between 7 and 6. I'm not going to say it the other way. Nice try, chat. So yeah, anywhere between 7 or 6 in this one. So I think because we have a little bit of some surface issues here on that top left, we have a little bit of possible whitening on this left side. That my confidence on this section is a little bit lower, but the ones that I have in circles, so we have 1, 2 points of whitening in the bottom left corner. We have 1 in the bottom right, 1 in the top right. A little bit of some scuffing here, but it's really just kind of that soft ding on the front. That I kind of noticed more on the angled photos in this section, and judging by all that, I wouldn't consider it being like in the near mint plus range. So I would probably say that this would be, in my opinion, a very strong 7, in my opinion. But kind of like in like a near mint LP plus range. But I would think that if there was a little bit more going on, I would probably advocate more towards a 6 than a 7. But it's definitely like near mint minus LP plus range. So I would probably say that it'd get a 7, in my honest opinion. But it sounds like you're going to submit it anyway, which is kind of nice. So definitely let us know how that goes about. So I'd probably assess this at around a 7. because as a recap, we have a little bit of a dent here on the top of the Victory Cup on the front. The rest of the card is in really good shape. But the back, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of whitening on the corners, as well as 1, 2 on this left side with a potential on the middle left, with some kind of gunk or residue or something kind of like a film on that top left corner. But it's not light play, like hard light play per se, probably LP plus, near mint minus, so PSA 7 would probably be my assessment on that bad boy. It's one of those cards I feel should be graded. Yeah, I think so too. There are some cards out there that I really do think that should be graded more from a preservation perspective. Sometimes, like I've shown you guys numerous times, like for example, the banned artwork. I'm a big like Pokemon history buff. I really like the history behind some of these cards, and that is one, for example, that I grade no matter what. And I think for prize cards or stuff like that, I think it's really cool to preserve. So I'm definitely agree with you, Jersey. I think this card would be really good to grade regardless, because I think it's just a cool piece of history, in my opinion. Well, I appreciate that, CJ. And again, if you guys have any other questions or want to know how to submit your cards for a future grade review, please let me know in chat. Be more than happy to answer any questions. In addition, I'm more than happy to answer or talk about anything outside of grading that is hobby dependent, such as a lot of newer cards like the Marshadow going up in price due to some degree of manipulation. So we can talk about that. I've been seeing a lot on social media, which is kind of funny, kind of like mocking the whole market manipulation of what is being called the Booger Mew. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, which I think is pretty funny. Dragon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much. All right, next up is the Charizard VMAX, and based off of your notes, Jersey, you're saying, I feel the Zard will 10. I just want a second opinion if I should grade it or sell, since you catch stuff I miss a lot. Well, Mr. Jersey, let us see. So, for those of you who are new here, it looks like CJ is getting all sorts of value out of this, so I appreciate that, CJ. Appreciate that feedback. So, on VMAXs specifically, pretty much the top half of the card is very hard to measure centering because there's no true border, but typically there are these white sections on the left side that I have highlighted in green, and on the right side as I have highlighted in green. Let's see if we can talk on a Wednesday, chat. So these are where I measure centering from the left and the right. And then the bottom, typically I just kind of measure either the left and the bottom, or the bottom and the right, depending on what I'm kind of eyeing if I need to. So you kind of basically just do like a little bit of like split down the middle and kind of assess the ratios on the left or the right. But in this case, the centering to me looks really good actually. The left and the right and the bottom look really good. But again, we're going to try to see if we can find anything wrong with this that might need a second look by Jersey. So let's take a look. So the corner, top right corner is good. Top left corner looks good. Top edge looks fine. Bottom left corner looks okay. Yeah, so I'd say all four corners and all four edges look good. Again, just as a precaution, Jersey, it's so hard not to call you Mike. But I would say just kind of wipe it down with some microfiber cloth. Because, for example, I do see what appears to be it's just some like little fuzzy stuff, like one stuck to his leg, which let me actually take a screenshot so I can kind of show you a little bit better. So we have one kind of near the thigh here above the 100. So something like that we just want to get rid of, in addition to on the arm. So just make sure to get rid of those little bits of whitening kind of stuck onto the card. It's mostly cardstock, so you've heard it before, but just microfiber wipe should be okay to get rid of that. My office is dude, I hear you, man. Mine is a fuzzy magnet, cat hair magnet sometimes. I have a like a chargeable air condenser, or an air can, I guess. I need to clean my office like every 30 minutes. But the back, let's see the back. So right now I'm just kind of taking a quick peek here. Okay, so this is the back of the Charizard VMAX. And so far, The centering looks really good. Corners look good. So nothing to really worry about there. Now, I just want to kind of take a look at some of your angled pictures here. So that right edge looks really clean. Nothing wrong with the corners. I'm not seeing anything standing out from that angle. And on the opposite angle, I am also not seeing much. The only thing, if I had to really kind of pick it apart, is I'm not too sure what this is right where the tip of my mouse is. It might just be kind of a combination of the camera and the cardstock kind of like reflecting weirdly, if that makes sense. But just kind of take a look at that. It's the only thing I can really see. But aside from that, I'm not seeing anything on the Pokemon. I'm not seeing anything on the Pokeball or on the back of the surface. But yeah, I think I would agree with you. I think if this were in my possession, really the big thing is centering and corners for this modern stuff, and I do not see much. Now, I was seeing something that, as I'm saying that, so on the bottom, towards the bottom right, or I'm sorry, the bottom left, just double check to see what this is. And actually, let me zoom in just a tad more, just so I can really have a good zoom for you, just in case if you don't see what I'm seeing. So what I'm seeing, after kind of taking a second look, is we have what appears to be some whitening here and some whitening here. Now that might be on your background, or that might just be something stuck to the back of the card. But truthfully, those are the only two things that I saw, or the number 2 and number 3. The first one was more towards the top middle edge, and those two are more on the bottom left corner. But those look to me more of stuff stuck onto it, which doesn't seem too bad. So I'd say if you can deal with those 3, or if those are not there, I think this Charizard VMAX does have a good shot at a 10. So definitely a good pickup. Ah, your boy. Your boy Snorlax. Probably one of my favorite artworks of Snorlax, to be quite honest with you. Just completely passed out like a frat boy on some, what appears to be some soda pop and other beverages. And I don't really know what that is, chat. Maybe that's a backwoods. It's a black and mild. Alright, so frat boy Snorlax. Let's take a look. Snorlax is for the PC. I know it won't 10. I want to see if you agree with my pre-grade. Alright, so let's take a look. I'm now being challenged by Jersey here. Let's take a look. So centering is good. Top right corner, good. We have a little bit of what appears to be whitening on the top here. And then maybe my confidence is a little bit lower on this section, possibly. So we have that side. Shark, thank you for liking the live. Appreciate that. It's a texture shift. Okay. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. So left side looking good. And then... oh, thank you for the gift. Appreciate that very much. So nice. All right. So... the bottom looks good. The bottom right looks good. Jersey, thank you for liking the live. Appreciate all the love. Thank you, thank you. So that left edge looks good. Now, I don't know what that is. Let's see. But in terms of the text looks okay from this angle. And then I believe these are just part of that, for sure, is part of the background. And I believe that is as well. So those are the only things I see so far on the front side. Let's take a look on your other angle. I'd be good in dermatology. That's so funny. Maybe. Finding out all All these little imperfections, these little spots. Just give me a microscope. Drew, welcome. Let's see. Yeah, so some of that whitening on the top here. It's like right about here. Yes. Get me in front of that. Get me in front of that CT scanner. I'll be scanning booster boxes all day. I'll tell you if there's a hollow in there. So we have a little bit of whitening there on the top. And then on this left side, so we're seeing a little bit more on this left edge. So I'm not too sure what this is. This might be... So sometimes when I see something like this, to me, it almost looks like extra card stock kind of left behind on the edge. So sometimes I've seen this before. And actually we reviewed, maybe, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, a Gengar from Astral that kind of had more of an extreme version of this. But this looks to be like something on this left edge. So we'll have to kind of keep that in mind as we flip it over to see if it translates. But so far, I don't think we're kind of like in that PSA 7 at best so far, based on what I'm seeing. But we'll probably get into light play category here soon. So centering on this is good. We might see some other angles here in this towards this light source, but we have some whitening here. And I'm just going to start kind of circling some stuff. So right now we're kind of in, especially with the amount of whitening, we're kind of in the 6 range. Thank you for liking the live. I don't know who that was. The GOAT. Black, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. So we have some whitening here. Thank you, guys. Top should be light, not whitening. Yeah, that top right side looked to be lighting, at least from this picture. So I was going to wait until I saw the other ones. So right now, I'm just, unless you're talking about in this like flattened line section, which makes sense. Let's see, more whitening here. Have some here. So yeah, we got pretty much like very, very mild whitening along the sides here. Have something stuck on that Pokeball there. And right now I'm just kind of looking at the surface. So really, right now, I think my gut is I don't think it's bad to be considered mod play. Especially from what I didn't see on the front, which is really not a lot. It was just primarily whitening. Thank you for sharing the live, Black. I really appreciate all the support so far. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's really just mild whitening from what I see kind of on the corners, on the edges. So I wouldn't say that it's as so if you're saying that there's really nothing on the top here, which I kind of made this kind of generic line, the stuff I have circled is very mild. So I'd probably say this is like an LP, like kind of close to LP minus, but I would still say that it's probably within that kind of like PSA 6 range. I don't think it would be anything from 10 to 7, like meaning like near mint or near mint plus or gem mint or anything like that. But I also think moderately played condition or worse would be too aggressive for the card. So I would probably say that this Rocket Snorlax would probably get a PSA 6 because the front's really good. There's only a little bit of whitening here on the top and kind of directly in the center of the Snorlax. But then on the back, all the things that I have circled is where I'm primarily having some degree of issues. So I think a 6 would be appropriate for this bad boy. How would I submit my cards for you? Give me an estimate grade. I was thinking 7 or 8. My Team Rocket returns. Rocket Snorlax is a 6 in far worse shape. Well, hopefully you can get the 7 for sure. I'm just worried about, really the thing that was kind of making me go towards that 6 was I was really just worried about that front side left edge. Was really what was kind of causing me some issues. Just from the one picture you provided on this one here. Just kind of seeing this Really, it was kind of a little bit strange to me, to be quite honest with you. But it might be just the angle, but that's kind of what that's really where that's kind of swaying over. Federico, thank you so much for the follow. What kind of camera do you use for the grading or microscope? So on stream, all I'm using is people take pictures of their cards, which I'll actually go over here in a second for Mamba. People take a picture, and then I just look at it through snipping tools or just Chrome extensions like this magnifying tool or the snipping tool, which allows me to kind of mark things up like you're seeing. But in person, I use a Tomlov DM201 is what I use. But the brand is Tomlov for a microscope. I've been doing this since 2017. Been doing it for a while. But Mamba, to answer your question, and if anyone else is wondering how to submit your cards, this is a completely free service that I offer every Wednesday. The easiest, if you're watching me on YouTube, is going to be in my description. If you're watching me on TikTok, it's going to be in my bio, which is my link tree. So you're going to go up to the top, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon, and you're going to submit your pictures in the grade review channel. Just make sure to look at the pinned messages because I can't review cards that are like in top loaders or sleeves or already graded, because if there's a scratch, I don't know if it's on the card or on the graded, whatever. So as long as you follow the rules there, it'll be A-okay. I do this every Wednesday, so I stream this once a week, and it's completely free. So yeah. And then while you're there, I'm also doing a giveaway, which I'll be talking about a little bit more after I do a few more cards. So you definitely check that out as well. This is active until it's active for 2 weeks, I believe. But now we are going to... Let's see, Surreal with the Bubble Mew. The Bubble Mew has been up and down, left and right, seems like for the last 3 months. So we are going to take a look at this bad boy. So this definitely is a pretty big come up if this thing gets a 10, because this Mew EX has been going absolutely insane. So let us take some screenshots of the front. And let's take a look. I actually need one more because that didn't really get what I wanted. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So the Mew EX. Cass, welcome. Alright, so the centering is actually really good. The top and bottom, left and right, have no issues. The Bubble Mew itself, I think raw is anywhere... I haven't checked today, but normally floats around... funny, it's floating. Get that, chat? Normally it floats around 650 to 700. It may have gone up or down within that range. And then 10s, I think, are going for... I think they just broke 2K. I could be wrong. Because I remember maybe about a month and a half ago I had one, and it was around like 1,400, I believe. But don't quote me on it. I don't really look at prices all day. I'm not like a Pokemon day trader. I look at them probably like once a week to update my own store. But yeah, it's a pretty big come up if this comes a 10 for sure. But the centering on this is really good. So again, I really want to make sure I do my due diligence here and kind of point out anything that I see. So the first thing that I see a little bit is potentially something here, but that just might be the texture and kind of how it's reflecting in the light. Thank you guys so much for the likes, by the way. I really do appreciate the support. Left edge looks good. I mean, really, all the corners and edges look really good. So I'm really not too worried about it. But it's really the back. So this one is at an angle, and this one is going to be tough. So the centering is really good. However, the one thing I have to kind of share with you guys, and again, I think this is why it's really important to kind of have these grade review streams, is I want to try to be as honest as I possibly can with you guys. And this right here, what appears to be some whitening in this corner, which is going to be right here and right here. If those two are present on this corner, this Mew will not get a 10. So in my opinion, if you're going to submit this card, trying to go for a 10, if those 2 points exist, and this is a really good example, guys, on how impactful whitening really can be. I just don't think you'll get the 10. You'll probably get a 9 to 8. I think you might be able to get away with a 9 because I don't know the severity of this compared to this. But if this edge is a little bit more predominant in person, then it probably would get the 8. So it's just kind of have that float around. I would probably say 9 if it is not that bad or if it's just the background. But this definitely on the corner is definitely a more notable whitening, which will most likely equate to it getting a PSA 9, which then turns into it not being worth grading, because if you bring this to a vendor as a PSA 9, they're going to assess it at the raw condition. Because Modern, again, as a reminder, Modern has such a high print quality that anything under than a 10 is traditionally assessed at its raw value. Because that's just, until the market changes or until these cards get significantly older, that's just kind of how it is. So, sad but true. Like Jersey said, sad but true. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's weird, CJ. Speaking of, we get to look at your card now, which is a crazy first edition Lugia from Neo Genesis. So first, very good picture. A lot of people recently have had hard times getting their pictures done the first time, and I think this is your first submission that I've seen, because it looks like you're new. So we are going to go over this Lugia with a fine-tooth comb. So let us see. So we got the front, and then I'm just going to take a picture of the back as well. Opal is saying that it may look polished, but we will have to cross that bridge when we get to it if we do. So let's see here. All right, so the front of the Lugia. Let us take a look. So the first thing that I see, which I would probably do in person, is the left side is slightly thicker than the right. So if you guys are new here, I'm going to kind of take my little imaginary snipping tool ruler. Again, don't take this with a grain of salt, right? It's me measuring pixels at the end of the day. So what I would do is I would line this up, and I'm just going to call them hash marks just to make it easier. So we're going to go from here to here, and we're going to count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that left side. And then we're going to go from the right side. So from here to about here. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.5, kind of 5. So like 4.5 to 5, because it's kind of like in the middle. So we'll kind of do both values here. So we'll do the worst one just in case. So 6 plus 4.5 equals 10.5. So we have a combination of the left and the right. So we add those together. So all we now do is just divide one of the sides by the sum. So 6 divided by 10.5 equals 0.57. So if it's more closer to that 4.5 than it is the 5, we have a 57-43 ratio, which technically, just from centering alone, would not allow this card to get a PSA 10. However, if it's more closer to that 5, which it might be in this case, because I had to kind of put it in between the two, which would be 11. So if we did 6 divided by 11, you'd be at 0.54. So that's why, again, it's important to kind of do your due diligence and measure this in person, because me measuring it on screen for you, one says that it won't, one says that it will. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. So measure the left to the right and sum them up, and then divide one of the sides by the sum to get your ratio. So we'll kind of keep that on the card. And then we will go around the corners. So as I'm doing this, Lugia specifically is probably one of the hardest cards to get as a PSA 10 because of all of this hollow in this bottom left section. It is extremely difficult to get a PSA 10. So that top edge looks good. That top left corner looks good. Top edge looks fine. Corner looks good. Edge looks good. That corner looks good. That right side looks good. Okay, so now we're going to look more on the surface. So the one thing that I see so far is what appears to be a little bit of a dirt spot, which is right kind of in the center of this circle. So as a reminder, for something like this, if it's just a bit of dirt, all you need, and I'm actually going to show it after, once I'm done with grade review, I'm actually going to be cleaning some cards and processing this, so definitely stay tuned for that. But what I would do here specifically is, as long as you have like a little bit of distilled water, a microfiber cloth, and or a Q-tip, just very, very carefully clean some of that dirt off, because that will allow you to get a much better surface subgrade with that dirt, what appears to be dirt, not considered when they grade this Lugia. So that's something that I noticed right off the bat. So just kind of keep that in mind. But if you have a card to test it on, because a Lugia, if you've never done that before, definitely test it with another card, because you want to try to not get the Q-tip too wet. You don't want to waterlog it. So if you have another card, definitely test it out. The other thing, especially with like older vintage, and it says that it sounds like you've had this for a while, but the one thing that we need to start doing now is double checking to make sure that the first edition stamp is legit. I've been seeing some posts, not often, but it definitely exists. There was actually a time where I looked at, because I heard about it, and I was like, there's no way that people are making first edition stamps. And there are Etsy sellers out there that actually sell these first edition stamps to stamp on the card to make it quote unquote first edition. So those are some of the things you have to just kind of look out for when you're in person. It's really rare from what I've seen, but it's still out there. And so sometimes the positioning will be wrong, or the letters will be too thin, or it'll look washed. So just kind of keep an eye out on that first edition symbol, that it's nice and solid and not like missing in some spots. Squidge, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. But just kind of keep an eye on this is all I'm saying, especially for these higher end cards. So the flavor text looks okay. No problems there. The attack looks fine. Not seeing much here, but again, really the thing that I'm kind of worried about here is the scratching. There's a lot of it, and since we only have one photo, you're gonna have to kind of see most of this on your own. Just got a PSA 9 Gold Star Greninja Anniversary. Should I send it back for a 10? If you think it will get a 10. But those cards are very hard to grade from what I've seen. So one of the things I'm seeing here is, and I'm going to try to do my best to circle the scratches that I see. So this one's probably like right here within this kind of green blob. There's a scratch, which again is super, super common for Lugias. And I would imagine that there's probably even more going across here. Is really the only thing just to kind of keep in mind. But the Lugia itself, there's no dirt, there's no blemishes. So I would say for this card, just as a quick snapshot, is really good. The front is really good. So let's take a look at the back now and do the same thing. So centering on the back is good. We'll take a look at the top right corner. What would you recommend to make white spots less visible? So if you're talking about the back, there really isn't any, unless the cardstock is folded over. But anything that anyone would tell you differently may kind of go into the realm of alteration. So like there's been like a blue powder or a blue ink that color matches really well with the border. But obviously using something like that would be considered an alteration. And there are technologies out there That's super easy to see kind of add-ons like that, like a UV light or something like that. It doesn't do 180. I know. We all think these attacks did much better as kids. It's like the power creep is crazy. All right, so that corner's good. That top edge looks good. That top corner looks good. So far, that edge looks good. That looks fine. The bottom looks good. The bottom right looks okay. So that's really just this section right here. You are Pokesquidge. I can definitely go over that once I'm done with this Lugia. It is a free service, so there is no cost. So I'll go over that once I'm done with this Lugia. Because I really want to make sure, because that's one of the things I do like to do for you guys. I really like to kind of do my due diligence and not like fly through these cards. Because at the end of the day, I just want to try to be as educational as I can. Just speaking purely from my own experiences. So the Pokemon looks good on the bottom. The Pokeball looks really good. And the Pokemon on the top looks really good. So really, the most damage that I see on this card... oh, thank you for the heart meat, Pokesquidge. Appreciate that. Is really this right side. That's where the most of the issues that I see present on this card is really in that bottom right side. Because the front, you know, granted, we can't really see the hollow with just the one angle, so we kind of have to do like almost like a little bit of a barrier there. On the Pokeball, it has a dent. Let's see. Dent on top of the Pokeball. Alright, so I will leave it here. So you guys on the Pokeball, it has a dent. So to help you guys help me show me where it is, I'm gonna do this. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. What quadrant is it in? We're gonna kind of do like a top bro. Two. This is where you guys get mad at me for not seeing it. So top, middle. So bit to the right. Dent at top of Pokeball. Top, middle. Top, bro. A bit on the right. If the Pokeball is a clock, it'd be between 12 and 1. Okay, so you're talking about like right in this general area. Like right around there. Right next to the line. So are you guys talking about... Let's see. I was about to use red on the red part of the Pokeball. So you're talking about this right here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I know it's frustrating. I'm trying to... Alright, so we're going up. I'm on fire. Alright. All the way to the top of the red. So are you guys talking about like this section? I feel like we're playing like cold hot. Yes. There we go, chat. We did it. We did it. That's the dent. Let me see. Because sometimes when I use the snipping tool, let's use like the actual picture that was taken. So this is as much as I can zoom in without it getting too crazy. So you guys are seeing the dent like right here. So that's where you're seeing the dent. And now I'm looking at, because it might be easier if I look at the tighter. Okay, so it's really weird because when I look at it, I actually have to look at it through Streamlabs. Because I think what's happening is the screen that I look at, the brightness is like maxed. So my guess, which is actually a really good catch that you guys brought that up, is because it's darker on my left screen, so I can actually see it in my TikTok preview window on my Streamlabs, but I can't see it on my main monitor that has like the contrast really high so I can see stuff, which is really funny. So good job, chat. Good job. That's why you're here. So I will definitely mark that. So it's right in it. Now I can see it. I literally am circling it with my little preview Streamlabs window. It's right there. That's so funny. All right, so that is a good catch by chat. So thank you guys for helping me. So now that is going to be, I have to look at my other monitor. So that is going to be right. That is not a circle. It's going to be right there. That's so funny. Okay. So that is definitely going to impact the grade for sure. So we have a dent on the back. We have the whitening on the right side. And now I'm like questioning. I got to like look at the other side. We have a nice little swirl here. Yeah, it was weird. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Okay, so now that we know, unless there's anything else chat sees that I don't, I think we have enough to kind of do a general assessment. So the centering is kind of on the fence. Based off what I measured, it can be anywhere from being outside the 55-45 or within. So measure it in person, but let's say for the benefit of the doubt, let's say that it's within, like just within the 55-45 range based off of the second measurement. So on the front side, we have, would a short video help with the foil and scratches? If you want to post it, you can. You can post it in the grade review chat, or yeah, just post it in the grade review chat. But really the only thing that I see is a little bit of dirt on this right side, and some of the scratches that I kind of highlighted in this bottom section. So right now, you know, we're in that. Keith, what's going on? Right now, we're within kind of like 9, heading to 8 pretty quick. Because I think this can be treated I think this is just a bit of dirt that can probably just be removed, to be quite honest with you. So on the back is really where it's going to kind of drag this card down pretty significantly, to be quite honest with you. So with the newly discovered dent that I saw with the help of chat, the dent in addition to this whitening, so to kind of break it down to pieces, so if it was just the whitening alone, we're probably in like a PSA 6 range, or like 7 to 6, right? Because we're kind of in that like near mint minus LP plus because of how significant this whitening on this right side is. And one of the things I'm going to take a look at is I'm just previewing your video here, CJ. Okay. So all right, so the hollow itself, I'm just kind of looking at it on the side, it just makes it a little bit easier. So honestly, the hollow looks really good, based off of what I can see in the video that you sent. So this right side is pretty rough, to be quite honest with you. We're in kind of like that 7 to 6 range, but the dent right here, that will have some impact on the surface grade. Now, it does look minor, but it is a dent nonetheless. So normally when we have like dents or creases or folds, we get down pretty quick. But the question, since the rest of the card on the front is really good, like the edges and corners are really good, with the exception of these on this right side, but more importantly, how good the front looked both in the pictures and in the video you sent, this one would be tough. Do I think it's a PSA 3 or lower? No, I don't. I don't think it's damaged to that degree. Do I think it is near mint or better? Due to the dent on the back, no. So right now, we're within 6 to 4 is the range that we're in for grade. Now, with a dent of what we're seeing with this, it really boils down to how much we weigh that dent. If it's small, I could see it being moderately player of PSA 5. If it's smaller or not as impactful in person, which I'm actually going to look at your video again, you could argue that it could potentially be a 6. But even your video doesn't really show in detail that dent. So I would probably say, with a dent specifically, I have had something that's had like even like a smaller crease on the front with the rest of the card flawless, get a 5. So, in my opinion, I think that this card would warrant more of a moderately played or PSA 5 grade. 4 would be a little bit extreme in my opinion, just due to the fact that the front looks so good. But based off of the dent on the back, you could get around most likely a strong 5. You could maybe squeeze away with a 6. But the dent will have a pretty noticeable decrease in your overall grade, in addition to the more notable whitening on this right side. So that's probably my assessment. There are techniques out there to help, but I don't want to advocate for those because the card is such a high value card, and I kind of want you to do your own research on that because that's more of like a liability thing. But yeah, dents are no joke. Dents are no joke. Bro, I'm so excited. I just saw in the Discord I'm in this stream. Well, David, you made it just in time, my friend. You made it just in time. All right. So I don't know. I kind of yapped a long time about this Lugia. If there's anyone that's still waiting for me to go over how to submit your cards for free for a future grade review, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to go over it. I know it's kind of like a little bit a lot. So would I say just keep it raw? So what I would do in your position is I would weigh out how much this card would be in moderately played condition versus how much this card would be in a PSA 5, possibly PSA 6. I would average the prices between a PSA 6 and a PSA 5. Plus the grading fee on top of that. Because if you're going to sell it, then you have to factor in both anyway. But if you're going to keep it, that's more up to you, right? That's more if you want to protect it or not. But it's a really good binder copy, to be honest. Like I was saying, it's really the back that's the issue, but it's an excellent, excellent binder copy. All right, so David, let us look at your cards, my friend. Some modern bangers. Yeah, so if you want to just to keep your cards, man, I mean, it's really up to you if you want to preserve it. Like I've graded cards that have been like worse condition just because I wanted to be protected, you know what I mean? Like I have a card like from the band artwork that got like a PSA 3, but I didn't care because I just wanted it protected. So it's really up to you at the end of the day. At that point. Anytime, my friend, anytime. All right. David, you're up next, my friend. Let's take a look. The Reshiram. For White Flare. Squidge, let me know. I don't know if you... I think you were asking on how to submit, right? Have you just joined? I was kind of talking a lot about the Lugia. Just let me know and I'll go over it again. Thank you guys so much for the likes, by the way. Really does help. Okay. Reshiram. Again, Modern, really quick. Modern, the big things that we're looking for is centering and corners. And before I continue, now that Squidge is back, if you guys are wondering how to submit your cards for a future grade review, if you're watching me on YouTube, my link is in the description. If you're watching me on TikTok, my link is in the bio to my link tree. Once you are there, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon, and then you're going to submit your pictures in the grade review channel. When you do, it's completely free. I stream every Wednesday starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do these types of grade reviews. Just make sure that there are no cards that are in top loaders or sleeves or pre-graded, because if there's a scratch, I don't know what it's on, so it hurts me. It hurts my assessment of your cards. So since it is free, it is first come, first serve. So the faster you submit, the faster they'll be reviewed next week. And that is how you do it. And then you can kind of see on the bottom, I do have a giveaway that I'll be going over once I'm done with David's, which includes some free packs. So I'll go over that here in just a moment. So the Reshiram, the front centering looks good. Corners look good. Reshiram back. Let's see. So I'm thinking that this one should be good. Only because I know the light source is coming from the bottom, so I'm not really worried about this bottom right edge. This to me just looks like the background, like that little bit of whitening, but that might just be the background. Should I get Greninja Celebrations in a 10 with a swirl? I mean, if you're getting it for a good deal, I guess. Or it depends on what you're trying to do with it. Let's see. Because really, in my opinion, I think if you're going to try to look for like hold celebration stuff, I think the Umbreon Gold Star is. I mean, I've been talking about it for almost a year now on people getting the Umbreon Gold Star, and it's already started to shoot up. But in my opinion, John, my rule of thumb is if you're hearing about it, it's probably too late. That's kind of my opinion. But I think there's a lot of other good cards that are still worthy of getting picked up. But I mean, if you get it for a good deal, why not, right? So I think the centering on this card is good, then the corners are really good. So this one might be a good 10 contender. If what I was saying before is untrue, meaning, or is true, meaning that the whitening that I see is just purely from the background. Now, Gyarados V from Evolving Skies. Centering is good on this as well. And I also think that the same thing applies here as well. So the corners look good, edges look good, centering looks good. Yeah, I think the Gyarados also equally looks good as a PSA 10 candidate. And then the Zapdos, my personal favorite SIR from 151. I think this card. So if you really want a card that I think, if you're talking about John, Zapdos EX is one of them. This card has a lot going for it. It's got the legendary birds. I think it's really good. Just looks cool. It's not one of the big three boys. This one and the Alakazam I think are really cool. Let's see. So the front. So this one would not get the 10. Only because the whitening on the top right here. And you guys can't see what I'm talking about. So let me take a screenshot real quick so I can kind of highlight what I am talking about. So the top right, this right here is pretty noticeable. And then this as well is pretty noticeable. So I think this Zapdos would not get a PSA 10. I would probably sell this as raw. So I probably wouldn't grade this because it'll probably get like even an 8 because these 2 points of whitening is pretty aggressive for like a 9 standard. Because the rest of the card is okay. You know, if there's anything else wrong with it, it'd probably even go towards a PSA 7 to be honest. And honestly, some of these other pictures that you're showing with some of this edge wear on this left side, yeah, this definitely is not a 10 contender, unfortunately. But I would just sell it as near mint. If it were me, I would sell it as near mint. But great binder copy. Because it's all in the back. No, there's no problems on the front. It's all in the back. So yeah, that is the grade submissions tonight. And now we're going over to... I'm going to be actually going over to my desk now. And we are going to process some cards that I have coming up for a show that I have to prep for this Sunday. And I'm going to go over a giveaway that is active on my Linktree. If you guys haven't been there or haven't seen it. So on my Linktree, you have this big giveaway box. So if you guys want to enter, it's completely free to enter. All you have to do is click that and it will redirect you to the giveaway page. And the winner, this goes for 2 weeks. I'm going to try to start doing these once a month again, now that I've kind of caught up and caught my breath. So the winner, which is only United States only, I'm sorry for anyone that's outside of the United States, just makes it difficult for shipping, is one of my custom boxes I made years ago. It's so old, it has Obsidian Flames, Paldean Evolved, and a 151 pack, in addition to a pack that I've made custom, along with some other cool stuff. So it's completely free. It's a giveaway to show my appreciation to the community that's shown me so much support, and I'm going to try to go back once a month. So definitely check that out. There's multiple ways to enter, so the more chances, or the more ways you enter, the more that you can submit tickets and all that stuff to win. So that is there. And we are going to go over to the desk, and we are going to go over some of the cards that I'm going to be bringing to an upcoming show this Sunday, as well as hanging out with you guys for the rest of the night. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about, I have quite a bit to yap about, as always, because I am a certified yapper after all. And just make sure... So I think someone was asking what camera I actually use, or what microscope I actually use. And it is the Tomlov DM201 is the one that I use. So you'll be seeing me do that here in just a second. And one of the things that I am going to do real quick is... Let's see. So action required. I didn't realize that... There we go. I had a error on my giveaway there. It was like locked. So let's see if that fixed it. It did. Perfect. All right. So let us go over some of the... So this is the giveaway prize, by the way, that I have active. So this is what has the Obsidian Flames, Paldean Evolved, all that fun stuff in there. So definitely check that out. The link is in the description. So some of the stuff that I am bringing to a show this Sunday. So I actually had these out of circulation for a while, but the show that I'm going to is specific for Pokemon. So we have a full collector set of long crimp base set. So super stoked to bring these. A lot of these were actually, not a lot of these. There was a listing by TCA Gaming that just sold for around $1,200. So it's kind of nice to have that as a point of reference. And some other stuff that I picked up was a Expedition Aquapolis Skyridge set, which was pretty cool. So I'm just going to be kind of going over some of those with you guys tonight, just to make sure that I have all the dirt and grime that might be kind of stuck on the card. So a lot of these were in pretty good shape. They were primarily a binder collection, so it's more on the back than it is on the front. So we have some really nice looking cards, including some crystals, which was really cool. So nice little Blastoise with a swirl there. So a lot of these will kind of go under the microscope. So just as an example, you can kind of see above. Nice little fart swirl on the Ampharos there. Alakazam. So yeah, we're going to be kind of just prepping these just to make sure that we remove any dirt or grime. We got the first shiny, or I'm sorry, the crystal Kabutops. That was a pretty cool pickup. Got the nice little Gengar from Expedition. And just a nice little lot that will look really good in the case. We got a Crystal Nidoking there as well. And yeah, so we're just going to do our due diligence. Make sure that we have a lot of the dirt and grime kind of cleared off. And yeah, just kind of hang out with you guys. So if there's anything that you guys want to talk about or go over, let me know. And we're just going to get right into it. So I need some Q-tips to start off here. And so these are the Q-tips that I use personally. They're kind of like one end is a little bit kind of flatter and has some texture to it. The other one's more fine tipped. And then I have some distilled water to the right of me, in addition to some microfiber cloths that I keep talking about. So all that stuff is ready to go. And then I need a little pad that I like to kind of put down on the base of the microscope, just to make sure that everything is protected. I don't need any unnecessary scratches on the back while I'm kind of working on these cards. So I think, so that one was near mint. Really the ones that I'm most concerned with is anything that I marked. So one of the things I also like to do is I like to, so I process all my cards through Square. So I like to put barcodes on everything. So you can kind of see Skarmory, Light Play, so I put the condition on it as well. So pretty much anything that's marked as Light Play, I'm going to be kind of just doing a once over just to make sure that the card is as good as it possibly can be in the assessed condition. So I think some of them, when I noticed, had some dirt on them. And CJ, I know if you are here, I actually have a Alakazam that has a dent kind of similar to your Lugia, that just to kind of show that I assessed it. That one was a little bit worse. I actually assessed that one as heavy play, the Alakazam that I'm going to be talking to you about. But so we're going to just double check just to make sure that these cards are good. Nice little Suicune there. And so sometimes I just like to kind of shimmy the light on the back a little bit. And there is something stuck on the P, but you can kind of see this card's a little bit beat up. And so what's nice with the microscope, if you guys have never seen this before, it really allows us to kind of see a lot of what's going on with a lot more accuracy. And I have said it once and I will continue to say it. This thing has definitely saved me some cash on seeing things that I probably didn't see before with kind of the naked eye and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff kind of pops up. So we can kind of see some dirt or grime that I was talking about during grade review also on that P. So we're just going to kind of set it there, and just setting it there alone kind of lifted off some of that dirt and grime kind of stuck to the Pokeball there. So that was a really easy example of like what I was kind of talking about with the Lugia earlier tonight, that just something as simple as taking a microfiber or a little bit of distilled water can do wonders for just kind of removing some of that dirt and grime that's kind of gotten stuck onto the card or anything like that that would kind of ruin our chances at getting anything. Kind of want all the dogs. Is that right, Keith? Is that right? I'll have to pull you up on my other monitor here. Betty, what's going on? You have made it into the non-grader view where I'm going over some Aquapolis Expedition Skyridge stuff that I picked up. So right now I'm just kind of currently cleaning up a Suicune that's a little dirty dog. The back has some little dirt grime spots on it, so just trying to prep it for a show that I have coming up this Sunday. It's actually pretty cool. The show that I'm going to on Sunday in New York has the voice actor for Psyduck and then the narrator for the original Pokemon series, which is kind of cool. I hope they actually stick to it and come, since it's the first time of this event specific for Pokemon. They normally do like sports stuff. So it's their first attempt at doing Pokemon specifically. So I don't know how it's going to go. To be honest, it's going to be kind of a bit of a risk. But I do already have some prearranged sales kind of going into Sunday, which is kind of nice. So I don't have to worry about it too much. But it is a little bit nerve-wracking, I would not lie, to go to a brand new show that hasn't really been fully vetted quite yet. Shows and LGSs are popping up all over the place. Yeah, so we were able to get some dirt off, but again, the front of the Suicune is really the best part, to be honest. But really, really gorgeous card. I'm super... Honestly, like, when people ask me if I do collections or if I have my own collection, my inventory is my collection. I really do like showing off a really pretty case, to be quite honest with you. And that's just one of the things that I really like to have. Is I like to have at least one of everything, is what I always tell people that go to my booth and come to my shows. I definitely say yes, more yeses than nos, for sure. As long as I don't have what is being offered to me yet. Because I don't like having like 5 or 7 of the same card. I like to have one of everything. Because you have no idea. So this Vileplume, the front, is actually really good. I think it's just because this one is assessed as light play, so I think it's just primarily the back is where we're having most of the issues. And that is the case. So it's really just the whitening. So there's really not much we can really do on this one. It's just kind of those whitening on the top that probably mark it towards that near mint light play range. So that one is okay. And just as a heads up, if you guys did not catch my spiel, I am doing a giveaway. I'm going back to my once-a-month giveaways for a Galaxia Gaming mystery box. I tend to just do these for giveaways, but I also have them on sale in my shop. The link is in the bio. It's the first one that just says giveaway. Definitely click that and enter for some free packs. Show my appreciation, my support. Some of my videos as of late have been kind of popping off, so always appreciate that. So next up, this Skarmory was assessed as light play. Nice little Skarmory there. And I don't see any dirt or anything like that on the front. Normally I can kind of see more of it. Like, you guys can barely see it. It's like completely whitewashed. But the front looks really good. It's just, again, the back side. It's just that more of that whitening, so no dirt on there that we have to clean, which is nice. And put that right over there. And this Rapidash was assessed as heavy play. I think there was there's a little bit of a dent on the front. So again, that's really kind of the impact of the dent. There's a little bit of dirt on the front as well, but I don't think it really matters. The back is pretty cooked. So you can kind of see, I don't know if you guys can see all that whitening on the back. I'll even kind of put it under the microscope. How does the centering work with these cards? So primarily with e-readers specifically, you really can only measure the top left and right edge. Or I'm sorry, the top and the right. I'll kind of show you here in just a second. So the back is pretty obvious, right? There's really nothing that kind of changes from the back. But for the front, how to measure centering for an e-reader is basically imagine kind of like a 45-degree line that starts from that corner and goes up, right? So you basically just kind of measure the top and the right side. So you kind of do like a little bit of a 90-degree cut. You go kind of from here to here and measure the centering, the top compared to the right. Because you obviously can't measure the thick scan bar, right? Because it would be off center all day, like all the time. Are you taking the scratches off or just wiping? So all I am doing right now, Taco Bell, is I am just taking a Q-tip with some distilled water and just getting rid of some dirt. Some of these cards have some little specks of dirt that are pretty easy just to get removed with a, it doesn't need to be overly complex. There's a lot of people that do cleanings now. And I just kind of stick with the tried and true for the most of it, which is just distilled water and a Q-tip. The tried and true. So all I'm doing is just trying to very gently remove some of this like dirt and grime from the card. And that's pretty much it. But this card is heavy play to begin with. There's a lot going on with it, and it's really not worth going through the full restoration. How much do cards in this set go for on average as LP? I believe that the ones that I purchased in that LP range, some are really low. So like, for example, I have a Magby. So like the Magby and the Kingler. So the Magby, well, I guess the Magby and Kingler were kind of assessed at moderately play, but at least it's a good representation, I guess. So Magby and Kingler were assessed as mod play. I paid, market was 30. So I'd imagine as light play, you're probably looking at anywhere from like 35 to 45. So somewhere around there. I like watching your lives. Thanks, Taco. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I would say, you know, like the e-reader stuff specifically is a very difficult set to try to master. Some of the cards that I'm going to be kind of going over, I have two crystals, the Kabutops and the Nidoking from this collection. Make it very difficult to master set, just from a cost perspective. However, a lot of the cards that were in this collection were really good binder copies, where most of the damage that made, like, for example, this Kingler as mod play, most of it was on the back, which kind of makes it really nice. And another reason why, and there's actually a lot of grime that I see up in the top part, and I'll actually put it on the microscope so you guys can see. So like all, like right here, like in this section is pretty dirty, which is a really good example. And then right down here by the retreat cost, you can kind of see some of that dirt and grime that we'll try to treat here in just a second. What's my most favorite card in my collection? It is my, one of my favorite cards ever was the original Birthday Pikachu. Because it was one of the first cards ever that, you know, from a literal perspective was encouraged to be written on. To like put your name in the blank box to make it your Pikachu. So I have one as a PSA 8. Just because I really like that card. And so just like, I didn't really even talk about it. I probably should have as I was talking about that. But see all that dirt that was like in that grime or whatever it was in this top part? That is now completely gone. And under the microscope, you can kind of see like all that dirt on the tip of the Q-tip, hopefully. That all just came right off. And it's just distilled water. It's nothing crazy. And you don't need, you know, all these like different compounds and formulas and stuff like that, is I'm literally just using distilled water. And in most cases, since I don't use card wax to like fill in scratches, like, you know, at the end of the day, like if I want to kind of quote leave some meat on the bone for other people, if people want to use like card wax and go through that risk of potentially, you know, although the risk is low, the risk is still there with getting it to where it's considered quote unquote altered. You know, I'll leave that meat on that bone for someone else to deal with. I just don't have enough time in my day to use card wax or anything like that. We have some more. One of the things I do like what people say is Pokemold. So right next to the cost and retreat cost. So we're gonna try to. Well, sometimes with like more stubborn ones, I tend to leave the moist end of the Q-tip kind of sitting on top of that area for a little bit. I saw someone shaving down whitening with a blade, and I was cringing so bad. You know what? Everyone's doing something crazy, Betty. Like, I saw someone, like, people are trying to use, like cigar torches and glass, and people are now using, like, heat presses that you use to, like, make custom t-shirts with. It's crazy. It's nuts, like, how people are just trying to evolve. Like, there's another thing that I've been kind of working on that I really don't feel comfortable doing it. I was trying it with some old cards that I genuinely didn't care about, but I still don't know, is the using of the heat pen. People have started using heat pens to try to wear out creases, but that in itself, it's just way too complex. And again, if someone wants to do that on their own and wants to make, you know, turn a profit on me assessing a card as like mod play and making my kind of profit off of it, and they want to make even more by quote unquote fixing it, like, by all means, dude, like go for it, you know. But I just don't have the time to sit there and spend like weeks at a time flattening out one little crease on a card. You know what I mean? That's my contribution. There's still some, probably can't even really see it under the microscope, but there's like weird little like thumbprints in this section, so I'm gonna just try to get real quick. Betty, do you have any updates on that one debacle that you shared with me? I think you said it was in another Discord, but I don't know if anything became of that or not. Add the carp from Paldea involved in a PSA 9 and sent it to Ace, and it came back as a 7. Jeez. That's pretty rough. But that card, apparently that card is like super hard to get as a 10. That silly goofy Magikarp. Surface got a 6. Oof. Wonder why I got 6. Yeah, probably not, Betty. I'm sorry. I'll have to go back and read it. One card that I picked up, well, I picked up 2. I don't know if I'm probably going to post the video tomorrow, but I got 2 cards in from eBay. So one I'm going to plan on cracking probably and selling it raw, which is this Dialga EX. So I picked this up as a PSA 7. And on TCG Player, they're going for anywhere from like 9 to $1,000. And this one, as a 7, was around like 600. So I'm going to try to probably weigh out my options for cracking that open. And then I picked this bad boy up. The PSA 10 Gengar VMAX. This one was crazy. This one was, you'll see it in the video, but this one was in a, bubble mailer that was not sealed, not protected with cardboard or anything, in a box that was crushed. And somehow it survived. I don't know how, and I'm glad it did. but it survived. And it passed all the authentication checks, so very, very happy that that thing lived. I know, Squidge, I'm a bad friend. I left Betty on red. I'm a bad friend. Forgive me. They do not know what they have done. This Magby looks so sick. So this Magby was assessed as... Oh. Nice little Magby there. I really like this card. It's really good. It's by Arita. And it was very cheap for the rest of the expedition cards, which I found strange. But I don't think there was really much on this one. Yeah, I do too, Squidge. The Expedition, Aquapolis. This will look... I'm super stoked to share this with folks at the show that I have coming up. It's just gonna look so nice. This one didn't have any dirt. That Kingler was a dirty, dirty crab. Pause. So this Nidoking was assessed as mod play. So nice little crystal guy there for us. How much are the packs for this set? I think, well, I know Skyridge, dang, I don't know. I remember I bought a slabbed version of one for like 1,600, but that was almost like a year ago. So I'm imagining it's probably gone up since then. So maybe even like 18 to 2K probably. I genuinely don't know. So this one had a little bit of dirt on the yellow border on the right. And just really just whitening on the back. That was pretty aggressive, but see if we can get rid of some of that dirt on the right side. If I can find it, it's right here. Yeah, man, I feel like at this point I've probably heard every combination of I don't have these cards anymore because of like giving them away, or my parents threw them out, or I sold them at a garage sale when I was a kid, or that was most of mine. I was like always selling my bulk at garage sales when my parents would have them. But luckily, at the time, no one really wanted what I was selling because it was all like commons, uncommons, and some of that stuff were like first edition jungle and fossil and stuff like that, or Japanese. Like, I just kept them in the shoebox because no one wanted them and I didn't want them, but I never wanted to throw them away. So, nice little Nidoking there. Yeah, I hear you. It is not a good pill to swallow, knowing what you've done to your own cards 15, 20 years later. Like, if I could go back in time, it wouldn't be like, oh, I want to win the lottery. Oh no, it's like I want booster boxes upon booster boxes of like base set. It's funny what people would do. Right, Chad? If only we had the time machine, we'd go back and buy more Pokemon because we are chalked. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Like, just as crazy as, like, you know, like, imagine like these blisters, right? Like, these blisters would just hang on a rack for $4 each. You know what I mean? It's nuts. Like, the fact that these used to be $4 to $5 a piece. It seems weird saying it out loud. Absolutely weird. And by the way, for those of you who are still in the chat, to give you guys more entries into winning this for free, you should see a code if you're watching me on TikTok right up here. So if you use the Eve's special code, you get 5 additional entries to win this. So for those of you who are been here since the stream, since the beginning of stream, or now at this part of stream, you get some extra entries for free just for hanging around. So I appreciate you. Nice little Firo there. Very nice, very nice. Now, is this a dirty bird? Does not appear to be so. Pretty clean. What's your opinion on the look of PSA slabs versus Ace slabs? Well, Ace slabs look better. PSA slabs are as bland as it comes from a looks perspective. So this Gengar was assessed as light play. So a little bit of something underneath that curve in the bottom left, but so derpy looking. And then on the back looks pretty good. Just wanted a pumpkin from the Pumpkin Man. What the heck? By the Magic Man himself sending me the pumpkins. Where's the pumpkin? Where's the glass? Where's the pumpkin? It's on my porch. Thank you for the pumpkin, Magic Man. It's like the derpiest Gengar. But it is spooky season. Hopefully you guys are in the spirit for Halloween. Chat, should we invest in an Eve Halloween fit? I just paid for Jirachi. Really? Well, let's see. Oh, you did? Thank you so much. Look at that. The Jirachi. Let me see where I put it. Watch this, like, I have to, like, refund you because I have no idea where I put it. Ah, here it is. The finger hearts from the Magic Man. I'm in the UK, so just wondering what general consensus is about buying Ace slabs in the US. Well, I would say, you know, if you want my honest opinion, most people in the US are typically buying graded for the sake of return on investment. So if that's the case, Ace would probably be low on that list. Because, for example, if someone came to my booth and saying, hey, do you want to buy this Ace graded card? I would probably pass, knowing that it'd be a very difficult sell. So there it is, Betty. There's your Jirachi. And some other freebie stuff. Wow. Including the Gulpin. So I will make sure to get that shipped out ASAP, Betty. So thank you. You get all the goodies. Magic Man. The Firebender. The Firebender for the mid cartoon. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Before I get completely banned. As I say that, my stream lags. Bizarre. Getting banned, chat. Golem. Golem completely out of frame. This is probably my least favorite e-reader. Because it's like, he's like so not in frame at all. It is not very bueno. Reported, banned, lock him away, throw away the key. You legitimately can't even see him. So this is that heavy play Alakazam. I don't know if that's dirt or not. I don't think so. I think it's part of the art. Got a lot of edge wear on this bad boy. A lot of edge wear from the Magic Man. That's about it on the front. It's really the back, chat. It's the back that gets us. And right there, I don't know if you guys can see it, that fat little dent above the P. That is a certified oof. Let's see if I can shine some light on it. See that, chat? Oh yeah, right there. All right here. Where the kind of the tip of my Q-tip right along there. A little bit of a pit. A pit of doom, if you will. But not much we can do on that bad boy. Let's see, what else was there? There was one that was pretty dirty, I think. I think it was the Espeon, I think. I really like this Espeon. Just looks so good. They did such a good job at like making more like unique art on some of these e-readers. I never really noticed until now like what the Espeon is actually doing. It's walking up a staircase and there's the fountain on the right. I never realized that until just now. I just thought that she was like randomly walking in through like a babbling brook or something. Shows how much I know about Pokemon, chat. I know that's what I thought the entire time until just now, and that's not even for a joke. I'm not even trying to clip. I'm not clip farming. I promise. I genuinely thought that she was just in water until I saw, well, what's in the background? Oh, it's a fountain. Why is there a fountain? Oh, because she's literally crawling up. To me, this Entei looks like a cat. Like a Maine Coon or something. But yeah, more edge wear on this bad boy, unfortunately. But again, all these were in excellent shape for a binder collector perspective. So those were all pretty good. And the other stuff didn't need to be cleaned. So I think that should be it. Nice little assortment of stuff. So I think I will probably be doing a video going through all of my cards that I'm going to be doing. So if you guys are in the New York area, I am going to a show in Syracuse called PokeFest at the fairgrounds. That'll be on Sunday, this Sunday. So if you are in the area, I'd love to see you. If not, I will be posting a vendor POV whenever I have time to do so. I still have to work on an August show that I haven't even started, and one at the last Syracuse show. So that's going to be more time that I got to edit. But still good times. And then I just made this pile and I ruined it. Bizarre. All right, chat. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Again, if you guys want to enter in for your chance to win my little like mystery box thing that has Obsidian Flames, 151 Paldean Evolved, and a custom pack for free. The link tree in my bio has a link to the giveaway. Make sure to fill that out. The more entries you submit, the more chances you have to win. In addition, for you guys being here, you kind of see this Eve's secret code, which is Eve942. That'll give you 5 additional entries as well. So just make sure to enter in that. The giveaway is very obvious. It's on my link tree in my bio. But that is going to do it for me. I have a lot of editing to do tonight, and I'm going to start prepping for my Sunday show. So thank you guys so much for all the love, the new viewers, old heads. Thanks for the shares, the pumpkins, the fun stuff. Really do appreciate all the love and support you guys give. And I will see you in the next one. Peace, chat.